Alright, how about fuck you? Dropped one in the dirt underneath the truck, so I'm not really concerned because I'm going to replace them, but those were a bit of a bitch. So, there's one. There's two. And there's our fucking heads. So, next order of business is... let's see. This gasket's probably shit because I've got oil everywhere anyways, so it either wasn't set properly or, well, it's an old cork gasket, so it definitely wasn't put on the right way. Looks like I think I have to pull the intake. Yeah, because it's bolted to the fucking head. So, awesome. Another thing that I'm really stoked on is no use of guide plates, so that's going to make my next job a lot easier when I tap these next fucking head studs in, because I don't have to worry about the clearance for those. Like I said, this side's fine. Right side's fine. This is the one where we've got fucking, there we go, wonky rockers. So, I guess next order of business is pulling the intake, and I guess that's going to require pulling the distributor out as well, which I wasn't really looking forward to doing. It's a lot more than I wanted to do. I was hoping I was going to be able to get these off, but like I said, I'm going to have to fucking pull the headers. I'm going to have to pull the headers and drop those down, and that's not a bitch at all. So I might be cutting my day short here pretty soon, because I don't really feel like dealing with that. I'm going to have to move the truck onto the slab and jack it up so I can get the headers and exhaust off before I can do this. Looks like might as well take the whole things off because I want to redo the exhaust anyways. So I guess for now I'm going to drink beer and label shit and maybe start loosening bolts. We'll see what happens. Maybe I can push this thing onto the slab by myself, but yay! Alright, Thelma has been moved forward. Here was my big problem, was she got pushed into the backyard when I was out of state and got pushed up into this flower bed here, and I just had to dig her out so that, well, I work by myself, so I had to move her forward. And, well, now I just manhandled this stupid truck forward and I can do what I need to do next. Alright, so, yeah, turns out I'm gonna have to drop the freaking mufflers. I'm gonna have to drop the headers at least and pull off all of this bits anyways that I didn't want to touch. I'm gonna pull off the intake manifold. Cool little trick I came up with if you want to keep shit out of your intake and your engine while you're working with, you know, an air filter on it. I just ripped up a piece of cardboard, stuff it on there, and slammed it down with my hand. Alright, so yeah, now I've got a little bit more work ahead of me in terms of getting all of this shit taken care of and out of the way so I can get her lifted up and get that off. So I figure it's probably a good stopping point for the day now that I finally got it where I want. I might go through and loosen up some bolts just to make things easier for the day, maybe spray stuff down so that it's easier tomorrow. Other than that, that's pretty much it for today. I'll sign off. Alright. Back again. Finally decided, now that the weather's kind of cleaned up, that I'm gonna go ahead and start doing some of the hope you can see this. I got my camera but no tripod, so I don't know. Gonna start dealing with all of this shit today. Now that it's warm and I'm off for the afternoon, I'm gonna try to go ahead and get the headers unbolted. I already started jacking the truck up, labeled off some lines, and gonna go ahead and see if I can pull this fucking condenser off without having to drain the whole system, because that would suck. I do think I have to drain the cooling system, but fuck it, let's find out. Alright, well, step one, I guess, is I gotta drain the cooling system so I can pull the intake manifold off. So, if you ain't never done this, there's a little plug. These have side tanks. Some of them have top tanks, some of them have bottom tanks. This got two side tanks. So, drain this side, probably undo the other side and drain it, just in case. I'll undo this hose right here, which is going to go into there, and just in case there's any other fluid left over, and then I'll probably pull the reservoir and flush everything while I got it out. Next step, pull the belts, pull the AC condenser, which means I got to bleed the system, which I'm not looking forward to doing because I don't have the proper tools, but I'm probably just going to suck and do it the wrong way. So we'll get back to that after this. Alright guys, sorry for the self-filming still. I don't have a cameraman, so you get to look at my face selfie style. Let me show you where I'm at today. It is Christmas Day, and decided to spend a little more time working on the truck. I don't have a whole lot of time to spend working on this thing because I work full-time at home. I don't get to spend a lot of time doing stuff here. So, I'll show you what I have done today though. Alright. So, got my alternator all loosened up, got the belt off of it, got my AC condenser all discharged. Right now I just gotta get to this, oh, you can see it in here. Gotta get this stupid bolt off so I can pull this off and pull those out of the way. And then I gotta get the condenser off, or compressor, I'm sorry. And then, or maybe condenser, what does that say? Yeah, compressor. So, gotta get that off. And then I gotta get the power steering pump off. And then, yeah, drained the cooling system yesterday, got that all disconnected. It does not look very nice, so I might have to flush the system before I can do anything else in terms of putting it back together. Yeah, so that's where we're at today. I'm gonna go ahead and keep fiddling with some of this and see if I can't get this all the way off and try to make some room so I can start pulling the fucking head soon. It shouldn't take you this long. Like I said, I'm running a fucking business, so I don't have a whole lot of time to spend in the backyard, and it's the Midwest. So it is now, well, it's Christmas Day and it's going to be almost 70, but 2 more days and it's going to start snowing probably. So let's see how much we can get done. Hopefully get these heads off and inside before that happens so we can start doing the things that need to happen to that. Alright, so for you guys that have never had to pull or replace an alternator, we'll go over this real quick. There's the plug, looks like this. There's a ground, let's see if we can get in there and see that. There's a ground strap that'll go right there. Unplug those, make sure you always take your battery off or out of the car like I'm doing right now. Save this bolt for last because this is actually holding the whole alternator bracket on and on top, so you can go ahead and loosen this bolt. I think there's a static nut behind it, it might not be. Loosen that and this will allow you to take all of the tension out of there and pull this belt off that should be right here. You're going to do that, and then let's see, there's one really long bolt that goes through here. This guy goes all the way through there, so I'd pull that off. Once you loosen up the bracket and get the get the fucking thing off, the belt off, go ahead and tighten that back up where it is, just because it'll hold this onto the bracket. And then there's one more bolt that goes right here, which connects you to that bit. So I pulled this one, pulled the long one, loosened that up, pulled all the belts off, and now I'm going to take this one off and be able to pull the whole thing right out. My BMXers will appreciate this fucking breaker bar I just made because this stupid fucking bolt was seized up. But, oh yeah, fucking golden. Alright, so where are we now? Alright, I've gotten a bunch of random bracketry that was sitting on here off. I don't know what that was for. Let's see, where is it? This fucking thing right here was just sitting, if you can see in here, just hanging out under here, not attached to anything, not doing any sort of, you know, adjustments, just getting in the way. So finally got this off. This was a pain in the ass as well. I don't want to disconnect everything completely, so I just kind of pulled it off to the side and I'll shove it back in when I shut the hood. Now I'm onto this bitch. Everything's discharged and disconnected, and now I'm just trying to get the fucking tension out of this belt because there's like multiple ways of putting the tension on this thing and trying to get it all dialed in, so that's gonna suck, but it's something we'll have to come to when we get to that that junction in the road, and of course we'll all learn together, because like I said, we're all kind of figuring this out at once. I don't really know what I'm doing, I'm just pretending here. So let's get back to the fun stuff. No plugs necessary. Gotta love that Midwest Coast feel. Alright, so got that bitch off. Wasn't too hard. The biggest bit was getting these fucking bolts loose. There's one under here. See right there. That's the one that actually holds it onto the fucking heads. This one helps release tension up and down here. And then there's also another one that you'll see some other videos. I've seen some where they thread it through this way. Mine was fed through the back of it through another bracketry. So I don't know if it's just because this thing's kind of jerry-rigged. Let's see. So, yeah, this thing's clearly tight. So, yeah, here's that little one I was talking about that's on the inside. There's this one, and then this, and that's really all that actually holds it on. Other than that, there are like 2 or 3 bolts that kind of move the tension back and forth on this belt right here so that you can get it off. And as you can see, it is a, you know, this thing comes off of the crank and runs the air conditioner and probably gets a little bit of power from the power steering pump, which is the next thing I'm going to have to do. I don't know if I have to drain this, but I'm not looking forward to that. I don't know what the hell I'm going to put it in. I'd like to be able to just gently move it away, which I think I might be able to because I've got some movement in this line here. So I might be able to get that thing just set on the frame rail or something right here, and then I won't have to worry about unplugging and draining that whole system because I'm not sure how much is in there. Alright, so I got this all loosened up. That was kind of a bitch and a half. You have to actually remove this mounting bolt right here, which has a little fucking chunky spacer in there, and that allows you to actually loosen up this one and then slide this thing forward and pull the belt off. Let's see, power steering belt, depending on how many accessories you've got. I've got AC power steering, so power steering belt runs off the middle, goes right up to here, and then this is also just for me because I need to know where everything was when I put it back. I've got 2 spacers on the back of that bolt. Nothing on this one. It's got a static nut on the bracket, and that bolt right there, which I've got pulled aside. So now that I have all of the belts disconnected and pulled off, I've got them pulled off and labeled. Let's see. So there's my ace or power steering belt. Set this down right over there. Alright, so there's that. Now I can disconnect all of these. In fact, I bet you if I tighten this bolt back down, that'll hold it in place enough for me to pull the head bolt off, and it'll probably keep itself pretty stable, and I won't have to take it off. So let's see. Alright, got the power steering all down, got the header disconnected. That was always fun. I had to fucking sit in the damn engine bay to get that thing off. Now what I'm doing here is, once again, for me and you, right there, that little mark is, I've made a little notch. I know it's dirty, but I made a little notch, and I'm also going to use this video as a reference for where to put my distributor back in when we put this all back together. So that way I have some sort of reference for where to start my distributor timing. Fucking words. Alright, so next thing I'm going to do is probably disconnect this hose and maybe start on this side of the exhaust. I do need to just get that thing out of the way because it's bothering me, so I'll probably just do that next. Well, winter kind of made it. Always fun to work in these conditions, but at least it's kind of sunny out, so see how much we can get done. First things first, I guess I gotta clean this stupid thing off.